I understand that the gates of Hyrule Castle are being built in preparation for the calamity. At the moment, Sheikah researchers and skilled Goron blacksmiths are working together and have gathered within the castle walls. It's clear to me that Father is taking the threat of the calamity seriously. The dining hall is occasionally used for grand banquets. I cannot say I enjoy the looks other attendees give me. They are always ones of expectation and disappointment. But whenever I feel such pressure, I fix my eyes on the knight who stands at the entrance to the hall. His unchanging nature is a welcome relief to me. Ah, the observation room. Father would often stand here, looking with kind eyes down upon the bustling town below. I recall him saying, "One cannot rule a country without knowing its people." The purpose of a gatehouse such as this is to allow enemy soldiers in, only to seal the entrance shut, cutting them off from their forces before wiping them out entirely. Over its long history, the first gatehouse has never been breached. We are fortunate that so many aspiring soldiers have come to our aid from many different settlements. The guards' chamber is so crowded now that the sound of clashing swords seems unending. I, too, must contribute as best I can during these times. If the sturdy iron bars are any indication, those who are brought to the lockup must have committed weighty crimes. I don't believe it's been in use for a very long time, so the guards who would normally stand post here have instead been sent to watch over the castle. I've heard the docks were originally built as an escape route for emergencies. Now, instead, it serves as a bustling hub for merchants and fishers. I've not seen that large brazier lit before. I wonder if there is a reason for it. Books from all around Hyrule live here in this library. As such, it is a critical place for conducting research, but Father has forbidden entry. Guards are on constant watch just outside the entrance. So, for now, it's best to enter using the hidden passage. throne room sits at the center of the castle and is the site of many official events. Father would take the throne to the left, and Mother, the one on the right. Her throne remains unchanged and untouched since her passing. Days begin and end with the toll of this bell. Typically, it is heard throughout the castle and the town below. In the event of an emergency, however, its tone rings loud and clear all through Hyrule. Despite the lovely bed prepared for me here in my room, I cannot remember the last time I was able to sleep the night through. I suppose it's to be expected. If what was prophesied holds true, there is little time left. This place was originally used as a watchtower, but I've repurposed it into my own study. It's perfect for conducting my studies away from Father's prying eyes. At the moment, I'm learning about ancient relics, as well as the preservation of endangered species. This place was originally used as a watchtower, but I've repurposed it into my own study. It's perfect for conducting my studies away from Father's prying eyes. At the moment, I'm learning about ancient relics, as well as the preservation of endangered species. Among the many overlooks, this is my favorite. I remember spending time with Mother here. Back then, Father still laughed. Frequently. I wonder if the day will come when we can laugh together like that again. Beyond the moat bridge lies a prison where those who have committed grave crimes are sent. Ever since I was small, I have been forbidden to cross here. The origin of the dragon's blood tree's name is unknown. At one time, the water from the surrounding mountains flowed into a network of rivers on this plateau. Perhaps the water itself was likened to bleeding, the network to blood vessels, and over time, it came to be associated with dragons, thus the current name. It has been decided that we will investigate ancient Sheikah ruins in preparation for the calamity. The entrance to the Royal Ancient Lab, which we were forbidden from opening, now stands open. Things such as blueprints still remain, and Pura and Robbie have been absorbed in reading them, sparing no time for sleep. With the Rito and Gerudo coming here to offer up specialty wares from across Hyrule, Marita Exchange is always a lively place. In particular, the fish being sold here are popular among Rito and Gerudo alike. They sell out almost immediately. I've been told the people of Sirin's stable just moved here, hence the many wooden boxes all around. Originally, stables were started up by nomadic people who would host travelers. It seems the tents at these stables are a relic of such times. Nowadays, stables stay put, so finding a mobile one such as this is a rare thing. The bridge on the south side of Tanagar Canyon is closed because of deterioration, which means the travelers coming and going from Hebra are funneling here to Snowfield Stable. It's flooded with travelers, and the innkeeps seem exhausted. Once the calamity is behind us, one of the first orders of business will be repairing the bridge. Year after year, more villagers depart from Tabantha village, never to return. It seems the bitter cold is challenging company. Now there are few who live here, and lines of empty homes. Many of the people who work at Snowfield Stable are originally from here. The proprietor was proud to tell me that of all of them, Rito Stable boasts the oldest history. He also shared that no matter what price was offered, he would never sell it. His passion for this place will surely be carried on through his family line.
¿Sabes qué? Podemos ir a
Divine Beast Var Meadow seems to be soaring easily through the air. Training must be going well. Among all the divine beasts, I am told that Meadow, controlled by air currents, is the most challenging to maneuver. Yet Rivali continues to impress. I imagine he, with his strong sense of duty and work ethic, has trained more than anyone else. This stone pillar towers overhead in the center of the village. It occurred to me that it may be Meadow's perch, and a frightful image sprang to mind, one of the pillar crumbling beneath the weight of Meadow. However, this divine beast is far lighter than it appears as compared to the others. My concerns, ultimately, are unfounded. The winged inhabitants of this land call Rito Village their home. The wind currents facilitate upward mobility throughout its vertical design, allowing the Rito to fly from one area to another with ease. Additionally, platforms were originally constructed to connect the areas for other peoples, but it seems even the Rito are using them more and more. Rito fabrics are high quality, making them popular at the exchange. Mother adored this store and special ordered this coat. It is made with the finest of down feathers. It fits me so perfectly that it feels as though it were custom made for me. To think, I am the same height as Mother now. It brings up such feelings in me. It tends to be their fabrics that garner attention, but the Rito have the best woodworking techniques in Hyrule as well. From their serving dishes to their structures, even the very framework of their village, the Rito have made everything from wood. I'm told the way they transport lumber mid-air is quite the sight, and I'd love to see it someday. I've heard that the Rito use refined group tactics in combat. Their elder has incredible intellect, the sharpest among the Rito in fact, and Rivali is said to be the strongest Rito in history. It is said that they're an ironclad force, unlike any ever witnessed. I even sensed remarkable composure from the elder, as he told us not to worry about them. It was reassuring. Watching him practice here at the flight range, it is clear to me that he is a truly unique champion. He creates an updraft and then catches it, soaring upward rapidly. He is the only one capable of such a feat, and yet it isn't even what makes him so remarkable. Rivali brought me to Garflum's secret hot spring, telling me I was overworking myself. Since he can only carry one person, he said he would act as my guard, so Link is waiting at the village. I cannot remember the last time I relaxed on my own like this. I've always wanted to investigate the Hebra Mountains up close. It appears the mountainside has been scarred by an energy blast. Naturally, I would think this scarring was a direct result of the calamity 10,000 years ago. But were that the case? From what I can tell by looking at it, it would seem the mountain was blasted from the direction of Hyrule Castle. I find this unsettling. These ruins are thought to date back to the kingdom's founding. It seems likely that something of great value was once here, as there are many guardians in the area. Additionally, according to ancient documents, there was a room beyond the goddess statue, but it now appears to be buried in sediment. The existence of a shrine has been confirmed here at Typhlo Ruins. Could that darkness act as a test to the one chosen by the sword that seals the darkness? I don't think I can go much farther, however. I wonder if I will have to ask him to come investigate. No, I don't want to have to rely on him for this. We received a request from Daruk to move this stable, but it's a critical hub, offering refuge to travelers entering Death Mountain. It also houses the many rescue dogs here on standby in case something happens. With all that in mind, I don't see why he'd want to move it. I shall need to ask him for more information. Just beyond the moor of Death Mountain is a scorching region. The heat from the flow of lava can be intense, so intense, in fact, that it can take one's life should they fail to prepare accordingly. My bodyguards forbade me from going any farther, yet it is my duty to keep a close watch on the divine beasts we will be fighting alongside. This mission proves to be exceedingly dangerous. Goron City is watched over by Daruk, chief of the Gorons. Despite coming equipped with fireproof elixir, I didn't quite bring enough of it. I settled on making more myself, but I was having trouble catching fireproof lizards. The Gorons, seeing my struggle, decided to help me, and, well, now I have enough fireproof elixir to last the rest of my life. When I dropped an apple here, it wasn't long before it became a baked apple. After that, I tried my hand at grilling some meat and fish in the same way. I found it rather convenient, without need of a pot or a fire. Although one Goron watched me curiously, I imagine it must have been an unusual sight for him. After all, they primarily feast upon rocks. This blacksmithing shop doesn't seem to have a name. I get the sense that the blacksmith himself is more concerned with his skills than he is about naming things. Truly, he is a master at his craft, his stature both grand and indomitable. Without so much as a momentary pause while striking the iron, he proudly told me that he was the very one who made Daruk's boulder breaker. Generations of chiefs have been carved into rock. Daruk stands in a prominent position, a clear indication of how highly regarded he is among the Gorons. It's such an incredible carving, but Daruk never mentions it. Perhaps he's a bit embarrassed. Camouflaged as rock, divine beast Varudanya was concealed in Death Mountain. Then the flow of lava shifted, and Rodanya appeared. It could be mere coincidence, but no, perhaps it has awoken on behalf of all of us, sensing the return of the calamity. One might find many eggs floating in the water of Goron hot springs. I had the impression that they eat only rocks, but apparently Gorons consider hard-boiled eggs a favored snack. The Gorons appear comfortable soaking in the steaming water, but I suspect a Hylian would end up rather boiled themselves. These stone monuments erected along this path detail the history of the Zora in King Dorephan's words. Thus far, only 3 have been made, but once the rest are completed, travelers will be able to learn even more about the Zora. Divine Beast Varuta is named after the Zora sage. I wonder if it was submerged in water by the King of Hyrule when the reservoir was made. In any case, I have heard that its trunk, capable of releasing vast amounts of water, lowered when Mifa approached, a clear invitation for her, almost as though it was an old friend. land of the Zora, known as Zora's Domain, is home to the champion Mifa and the guardians of the Great Spring. We have a long history of cultural exchange with them, dating back even further than 10,000 years ago. This promenade is a testament to that long-standing relationship between the Zora and Hyrule. King Dorephan rules over the Zora and is father to Mifa. He's known for his incredible strength. In fact, he fights with his fins rather than wielding a weapon. One of the guards here even told me excitedly about an army of monsters who were eradicated with a single blow from the king. This depiction of Mifa is truly exquisite, though that is hardly surprising. Zora's Domain is home to talented metalworking artisans after all. It is said that this statue is made not only to honor her elevation as a champion, but also to act as a beacon for her safety, in the hopes that she will return home. She was embarrassed by it, however, and has asked King Dorephan to move it somewhere less prominent once she completes her duty. The stone architecture and metal engravings of the Zora are astonishing. Truly, the village itself is a work of art. The Zora made the buildings, furniture, and even the books out of a water-resistant ore. Technology such as this could be developed only by the Zora. The beds in the Zora Inn are hard and apparently quite unpopular among travelers. The owner consulted with me about it, saying that since Zora sleep in the water, they aren't sure what makes a bed good or bad. I offered a suggestion of creating a bed that's akin to floating in water. That may have been too unrealistic. The Zora use Shatterback Point as an area to demonstrate their courage. I understand this was once a crowded and lively place. Many young people came to test their mettle. But ever since a Lionel took residence in the mountain, no one dares go near. No one except Sidon, I fear. Mifa expressly told him not to go, but he got a look in his eye when she did. Here in Kaponga village, they're working to make it possible to manage horses with just a few people. This would be achievable by using the small islands scattered about the Nehru wetlands as stables. There's a grassy field at the village's entrance where the horses seem to be living at ease. And the villagers here even told me my white horse is beautiful. Father decided that the stables would be places of refuge in preparation for the calamity. In his words, there is more to protecting our people than simply fighting. The Stable Association was thus established to further strengthen cooperation, and Mestro, proprietor of Wetland Stable, was appointed as its first chairman. Gerudo Canyon provides the only path leading to Gerudo Town. Gerudo Canyon provides the only path leading to Gerudo Town. It seems monsters have made the former quarry into their base, and even the Gerudo, who are intimately familiar with the land, stay exclusively on the main road. Abosa warned me countless times to exercise the utmost caution when traveling through here. Divine beast Varnaboris. 10,000 years ago, the divine beasts were active, and they, along with the ancient relics, were intentionally hidden away. This was because they were feared due to their astonishing power. Having heard a prophecy speak of this place, we deduced that this was the location of divine beast Varnaboris. Coming upon it now is truly breathtaking. Trade with Gerudo Town is going well, but apparently there is no end to the traveling merchants meeting with disaster in the canyon. Though the Gerudo may be accustomed to the road, it is a difficult one for Hylians. I'll speak with Father about whether we can have a stable built here. Here in Gerudo Desert, the temperatures vary wildly, enough so to be life-threatening. In addition, traveling across the sand by foot is challenging. These conditions certainly explain the strength of body and spirit that the Gerudo possess. Which has me thinking, while Mother was prone to illness, she would often visit here, despite the harsh environment. Karakara Bazaar serves as a trading post for those who cannot enter Gerudo Town. It's a smart thing, since the town only allows women to enter. Urbosa warned me to be on alert for the Yiga clan here, but I cannot imagine they would attack in a place as crowded as this. She worries a bit too much. Gerudo Town is ruled over by Urbosa, and is also the largest oasis in the desert. The buildings look as if they were carved out of large boulders. Quite sturdy indeed. When your home is a desert with numerous dangers, having strong walls is a sure way to stay safe. Chief Urbosa has made the decision to offer the Gerudo support in subduing the calamity. She and I have been close friends for a long time now, but the conversation leading to this decision was the first time we spoke as formal representatives of our people. She is as transparent as always in her motivations, to protect those she cares for. And this is also why she is so trustworthy. the sand seals, which I understand to have evolved from an aquatic creature of some kind, reside only in Gerudo and move through the desert as if swimming. The Gerudo use them as a means of transportation. However, they are quite difficult to handle. Without Urbosa's training, I might never have been able to maneuver one. Among other things, the Gerudo are known for their craft in jewelry. They consider the gems used in their jewelry as talismans, absorbing both sunlight and moonlight, which cleanses evil. As such, they wear the jewelry as much as possible. Even Urbosa's shield and knife have been crafted by a jeweler rather than a blacksmith. The Noble Canteen's famous cocktail is known as the Noble Pursuit. Gerudo preparing to seek the voe of their dreams drink it for good luck. I wanted to partake in one, but was told that I'm not ready for it yet. The North Gerudo ruins are the largest in all of the desert. Based on the sizable quarry and numerous ruins scattered about Gerudo Highlands, it appears that Gerudo Town was once quite large. I've heard that this area of the town was destroyed by a rampaging Molduga employed by a tyrant, but it is merely a theory. There have been accounts of dragon sightings since ancient times. I have been traveling to places related to these accounts in hopes of receiving the dragon's blessings, but so far I've had no luck. It seems many of the rumors are little more than folklore. As such, I thought that people were likely mistaken about seeing a dragon here in Gerudo Highlands. But the way the snow has been disturbed, it does appear as though a sizable creature moved through it. Perhaps this is the dragon's path. Urbosa has requested the construction of a new stable. The Gerudo often leave the city to travel when they come of age, so she asked for the stable to be set up near the entrance to Gerudo Canyon so they can prepare for their journey. This seems like just the right location for such a place. Normally, a stable is named after the area it's built upon, but this one sits upon a boundary. I wonder what it will be called. The area around Sanadin Park is a vast grassland, making it Hyrule's finest habitat for horses. The white horses of the royal family have been bred for generations, but I heard that the very first generation was born here. Apparently, there are still white horses around this area. There are only 2 cherry blossom trees in Hyrule. They have been referred to as the Father Tree and Mother Tree. I imagine this is because the cherry blossom trees are sometimes worshipped for their supposed ability to purge evil spirits. Satori, who is said to live on this mountain, may be a protector of Mother Tree, sent by Father Tree. This is the center of Castle Town, otherwise known as Central Square. The fountain area is crowded with people and vendors. It's always so lively. The mood and scents here sometimes cause a wave of nostalgia in me, reminding me of the flower crown Mother bought me here when I was little. Hyrule Cathedral. When I was small, I used to imitate how Mother prayed when she came here. I should have watched her more closely. Or, no, perhaps instead, I must find my own prayer. This is a sacred place. Once, Daruk suggested I recreate a ceremony believed to have been held here in the past. The knighting ceremony, for the one wielding the sword that seals the darkness. It did not go well. Urbosa tells me I should look the knight in the eye, rather than looking at the sword. But whenever I try, I simply can't. It is said that Hyrule Forest Park began with a single tree planted by the first king and queen of Hyrule. Since then, a tree has been planted each time the throne has succeeded, and now they make up this thriving woodland. Though it is small, this settlement is the oldest in the land. Named after the founding king of Hyrule, there are various theories regarding the specificity of that name. Some believe that it was the king's residence, others that it was a village of his most ardent supporters, and yet others claim it was the birthplace of the Hylian queen. Ultimately, I'm not sure even the villagers themselves know the true origins of the name. The proprietor of Woodland Stable was deeply moved by how beautifully ornamented Mother's horse was, and is now studying techniques for adorning them himself. He even braided my horse's mane to match my own braids. Mother's care for horses lives on in this way. It fills me with joy to see it. Great Hyrule Forest is a sacred place where spirits reside. Only by following the wind's guidance can a traveler make their way through. The guidance is only offered up to a chosen few by the spirits themselves. Those who do not receive this blessing of wind will quickly find that they are right back where they started. It's easy to see how this grove came to be called the Lost Woods. When I heard Father announce that the knight chosen by the sword that seals the darkness was Link, I felt anything but calm inside. Whenever I hear that name, an anxiousness sets in. Even more challenging are my feelings of envy toward him. I wonder if there will ever be a day when I can look him in the eyes. The great Deku tree watches over the sword that seals the darkness. I also view this tree as a mentor, in a sense. When the knight was chosen to wield the darkness-sealing sword, I felt nearly overcome by my feelings. But the great Deku tree offered me words of wisdom in that moment, encouraging me not to give up, and that I had my own path to follow. Those words provide comfort to me still. In Hyrule, there are a number of large decaying trees that are likely over 1,000 years old, not unlike this tree stump. There is a legend about this tree in particular that says it was inhabited by a dignitary spirit. I, too, sense something important from this tree. An archaeological survey will soon take place here, so I cannot wait to hear about their findings. Hyrule Castle was here on the Great Plateau in ancient times and is still under the protection of the kingdom. Father has decreed that the people are free to worship at the Temple of Time. Barring that, however, only the royal family may enter here. I imagine that is because the royal family still has many connections to this area. Royal princesses have a sacred power which is claimed to have been passed down generation after generation. In fact, the lineage traces all the way back to the first queen, when Hyrule was founded. The ritual at the Temple of Time falls upon the princess to carry out. But do my prayers even reach the goddess when my powers have yet to awaken? Many ancient relics of the Sheikah were considered dangerous and were therefore entombed in darkness by the King of Hyrule long ago. In particular, the Shrine of Resurrection was considered especially dangerous, as it controls people's fates. It was kept under close watch by the royal family. Now that recent investigations into the divine beasts have revealed that this shrine was built in preparation against the calamity, however, we should move forward with its study. Past this gate is a snowy landscape, cold enough for one to freeze there. The area is a place where heroes can test their skills, but the landscape is clearly not a natural phenomenon. Perhaps some ancient technology we have yet to learn about is being used here. From here, you can see the Great Plateau, or rather, Hyrule itself. At the castle, we are king and princess, but while here, we were father and daughter. It was in this place that I learned about everything from paragliders to cooking. I still remember the feeling of the warm doublet father wrapped around my shoulders. There are many gaps in this mountain hut, and even the rope holding the logs together seems dubious. It is far too shabby for a hunter's cabin. I didn't enter. The hut seemed it may collapse at any moment, so I was unable to identify the owner. It should probably be dismantled before someone gets hurt. There are many gaps in this mountain hut, and even the rope holding the logs together seems dubious. It is far too shabby for a hunter's cabin. I didn't enter. The hut seemed it may collapse at any moment, so I was unable to identify the owner. It should probably be dismantled before someone gets hurt. Here on the plateau, The Forest of Spirits is the only area dense enough to be called a forest. Back before the founding of Hyrule, however, the entire plateau is apparently covered with trees. Where the spirits plant roots, trees flourish, and forests are formed. In ancient times, this may have been a village of spirits. When I first saw a hot-footed frog at Hopper Pond, I couldn't take my eyes off of it. I came here every day to observe it. Mother's face grew stiff when I showed her the frog, though she never expressed outward disdain for them. She probably didn't want to speak poorly of something I liked. This is Hyrule's largest outpost, but it had humble beginnings as an encampment for travelers on a spiritual journey. Recently, a garrison was completed nearby, so the outpost now seems to serve as a place for soldiers to rest after long days, its watchtower apparently a gift from them. In addition to protecting the castle, it has become necessary to deploy our soldiers all across Hyrule. Outpost ruins are being temporarily used as military bases. The fountain at the center of Hyrule Garrison looks quite out of place, but it serves as an area of respite for the soldiers. Mabe Village boasts the largest farm in all of Hyrule, with more animals than villagers. From making hay to processing milk, it's clear when something has come from Mabe Village, and the villagers take pride in that fact. The captain of Arcalis Citadel was quite proud to tell me how its defenses are even more fortified now, with the brand new cannons installed. He also detailed how the bridge at the entrance is a simple structure which can be quickly removed in case of enemy advancement. It's clear why the citadel is considered impregnable. There are ruins scattered across Tauren Wetland. It would appear this place was once a settlement. I imagine the village may have been abandoned due to the inhospitable nature of the wetlands here. The soil is so damp that it would prove challenging to build on. At Pura's urging, South Akala Stable was built. It seems she gave the stable owners many sheep to celebrate the opening, so now the grounds are filled with them. There are more sheep than there are horses here. I have to wonder, why sheep? The Shadow Hamlet is a secluded village where people prefer to live somewhat disconnected from the rest of society. Many in Hyrule do not even know this place exists. I at least knew the name, but I had no idea it would be like this. I came to warn the people here about the calamity, but they turned me away. This is the spring where Din, goddess of power, is worshipped. Once she was one of the three goddesses, alongside courage and wisdom, but it is said that faith in her dimmed due to power being seen as a symbol of the Demon King. The terrain around the spring is complex and covered with roughly chopped trees, suggesting this place was once used as a training site of some kind. The buds are swelling and look as if they might bloom at any moment. These flowers submerged beneath the surface of the water have been considered prophetic since ancient times. Their blooming is said to herald natural disasters. Perhaps they sense the evil spirit of the calamity. It's called a lighthouse, but my understanding is that it was built as more of a watchtower. But to watch over what, I wonder? Beyond here lies Lomé Labyrinth Island, home to ancient ruins shrouded by mystery. Even approaching the ruins proves challenging. Some scholars posit that evil spirits are trapped there. Perhaps this lighthouse served to watch over the island? I'm probably overthinking it. A A goddess statue stands alone in the center of a large basin here. The ground is loose due to water saturation. The surrounding area probably collapsed, leaving this space behind. Perhaps the goddess statue is enshrined here as a means of preventing further damage. Although, I wonder, is this place instead protected because of the goddess statue's presence? I have heard that the giant fossil in Bottomless Swamp was once worshipped by cultists who considered it the Demon King from ancient times. It is said that their blasphemous words against the goddess summoned evil spirits, turning the water impure and changing the very shapes of the rocks to ominous forms. Now it serves as a den for monsters, so setting foot inside is not possible. The Highland Stable. This area of vast green lands is home to people skilled in horse handling. Here, horseback archery is a popular pastime. Even Link has admiration for these people's talent in horsemanship. There was a time when boars were worshipped as symbols of power. However, I remember reading in literature that the Demon King took the form of a boar and that, upon learning this, people came to regard them as evil. I checked around this entire area, and all the stone boar statues show considerable damage. I have come to the spring countless times since I was young to receive the protection of Faror, goddess of courage. Despite that, my sealing power has yet to be awakened, but soon I will turn 17. I'm certain that if I train on Mount Lanayru, that will change things. Here at Lakeside Stable, the jungle is dense, and much of the land remains undeveloped. I'm confident that there are many new discoveries to be made in such a place. There are even rumors of an unidentified creature of some sort. But I hear the harsh weather conditions are such a deterrent that even researchers keen to learn more hesitate to travel here. The cove here in Lurlin village is so lively with its many boats. Even before anyone recognized who I was treated with hospitality and warmth. The villagers served me a dish with an exquisite, vibrantly colored fish. You cannot find such a fish anywhere around the castle. Everyone here is so cheerful and kind. Spending time among them, I was able to forget the current hardships, even if momentarily. The cove here in Lurelin village is so lively with its many boats. Even before anyone recognized who I was treated with hospitality and warmth. The villagers served me a dish with an exquisite, vibrantly colored fish. You cannot find such a fish anywhere around the castle. Everyone here is so cheerful and kind. Spending time among them, I was able to forget the current hardships, even if momentarily. I'm told the houses of Lurelin village were built by shipwrights, so they're as sturdy as ships. Perhaps that is a tradition among fishing villages. The head of the village told me, however, that there are fewer and fewer shipwrights these days, and it may be challenging to rebuild if the existing homes were destroyed. Ah, the goddess statue of Lurelin village. Here she is worshipped as the guardian of fishing. She has been enshrined in this location to keep watch over the docks. The villagers provide offerings of their catches each day. I noted a rather large pile of fresh fish and crabs placed at her feet. Occasionally, while out fishing, the fishers will find treasure chests that have sunk into the ocean floor. They enjoy playing a game wherein they attempt to guess the chest's contents. Everyone who plays takes the game quite seriously, as the rules include that guessing correctly means that person keeps whatever is inside the chest. Cape Cressia is commonly referred to as Demon King's Claw, but nobody seems to know the origin of that name. Areas where evil spirits gather occasionally experience unique topographical shifts. I find myself wondering if this is such a place. I convinced a fisher from Lurelin village to take me to Eventide Island by boat. I've heard this island served as a final training ground for monks. I wonder what kind of rigorous trial awaited them here. Now, however, the island is overrun by monsters. I had no choice but to abandon going ashore. Tuft Mountain is a destination for many mountaineers. It's also known as the Matchmaking Mountain. The custom is to climb in total silence, and upon reaching the top, pray as the sun dips below the horizon. I set out to climb the mountain myself, but I was stopped by Link, who observed how very steep it is. Personally, I feel he was being overly cautious. Dale Lake is artificially created. It is said that long ago there was a great drought that threatened to dry up Lake Hylia, so Dale Lake was created as a reservoir just in case. The name Dea stems from the name of the village that the lake has flooded. Once upon a time, Dueling Peaks was one mountain. There are a few prevailing theories about its unusual split. Some posit the split was... Once upon a time, Dueling Peaks was one mountain. There are a few prevailing theories about its unusual split. Some posit the split was a path carved by a dragon, while others say it was caused by a great tremor beneath the surface. Personally, I believe it to be a scar on the mountain caused by the battle against the calamity 10,000 years ago. Of course, There is no way to confirm my theory at this point. Though it is a fort by name, Fort Hateno was originally a checkpoint for travelers. It's clear it hasn't been in use for some time. I can see areas where the structural integrity is in question. If we repair it now, while we are able, it may serve as an outpost for soldiers. It seems a useful repurposing as the calamity approaches. Peace reigns supreme in Hateno village. It's easy to see why, with all the farmland. Yet they have little sense of the impending crisis of the calamity. Perhaps the best measure is to increase the number of soldiers at Fort Hateno. Or perhaps not. No. Instead, I should begin by speaking with the mayor about putting guards at the village entrance. There is a sign out front that reads Ventest Clothing Boutique, though this is partially covering the sign's original wording, East Wind. Inside the shop, traditional Hyrulean clothing and colorful Hateno-dyed modern clothing is lined up as if in competition with the other. Apparently, the current owner and their predecessor are at odds about differences in the shop's direction. I was pressed about which clothing was better and promptly fled. The Kochi dye shop is considered without peer all across Hyrule. The owner, too, is without peer. I brought 5 garments here to have them dyed using the shop's special technique, and a unique royal blue color was achieved by taking extracts from a silent princess. I wonder if everyone will appreciate them. The founder of Hateno Pasture let me try a sample of food that was processed using milk. The subtle texture and mild flavor was so enjoyable that I couldn't stop myself from eating quite a bit of it. I asked to see the recipe, but unfortunately the handwriting was scrawled in such a way that I couldn't make out a single word. The mayor lamented struggling to find a buyer for this vacant home due to the distance from the village center. I do recall Pura wanting a place where she could devote herself to research without any prying eyes. The view from here is, as ever, unchanging. This place is one of the few I know that remains constant. Am I weak for feeling relief at that? I've heard stories that if you want to cut ties with someone or something, chanting their name while crossing through the middle of the pond will do precisely that. The pond's shape resembles a heart, and I wonder if the path in the center was created as more and more people walked it, compacting the soil. I hope that malice never forms here. The view from here is, as ever, unchanging. This place is one of the few I know that remains constant. Am I weak for feeling relief at that? The horned statue. People have long detested it, obscuring its name to history. No one remembers its origin. Its face has a sad expression, almost as if it's saying it doesn't belong here. For generations, the Sheikah have lived in Kakariko village. The town has been their refuge ever since they were banished from Hyrule. Their advanced technology was viewed as a threat. The village itself is nestled in the mountains as an intentional hiding place. I imagine it feels as a haven to them. Impa will be the next elder. I am thrilled to see her take up the mantle. At present, she is the royal advisor, however, and is responsible for the internal investigation of the divine beasts. As such, she implored the current elder to wait until her work with the investigation is complete, after which she will officially step into her new role. The researchers here are hard at work raising ornamental carp. They were inspired when they saw a beautiful fish called the mighty porgy that lives in the sea to the south. They tell me they're breeding rare carp that were born with mutations. This frog statue is the guardian of travelers, though I don't believe anyone knows why it's a frog specifically. It is fascinating that a group as technologically advanced as the Sheikah would still believe in such symbols of good fortune. Maybe it somehow relates to when the Sheikah splintered after a disagreement regarding the royal family. A symbol of hope to one day reunite, perhaps? The people of Kakariko village cherish plum trees as a symbol of Sheikah history. Rejoicing that a dear friend had been blessed with a baby, Impa planted one such tree and ended up covered in mud in the process. It was her wish that her friend's child would end up healthy and happy. Kotera is worshipped as the goddess of the land, and the villagers' offerings to her tend to be vegetables rather than rupees. It sounds like she's been less lively due to a decrease in rupee donations lately. Self-sufficiency is taking root in Kakariko village, so perhaps fewer people see the value in rupees. Purifier Lake is used for cleansing prior to visiting Mount Lanayru for worship. It is a very sacred place, so there are detailed steps which must be followed here. I cannot visit yet because I'm not old enough according to custom. That said, I have practiced the steps many times in preparation for when that time comes. I'm sure I will manage just fine, but perhaps I will practice just once more. This is the spring where Nehru, goddess of wisdom, is worshipped. Those younger than 17 lack wisdom and are forbidden from entering the mountain. Today, all I can do is look up at it.
Three hidden signs.
This is the spring where Nehru, goddess of wisdom, is worshipped. Those younger than 17 lack wisdom and are forbidden from entering the mountain. Today, all I can do is look up at it, but tomorrow, I climb Mount Nehru. If my sealing power doesn't awaken... No, it will. I'm certain it will be fine.
Oh. Hey. Hmm? Ah. Yeah. Oh. 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 Hmm? Oh? Oh? Oh. Oh. Ah. Oh. Hey. Hmm? Ah. Oh. Ho ho. Ha. Oh. Yeah. Ho ho. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Ho ho. Yeah. 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 Oh. Ho ho. Yeah. Oh. Ha. Yeah. Ho ho. Yeah. Oh. Ha. Ha. Ho ho.
Yeah. Hmm? Ho? Oh. 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 Ah. Ah. Oh.
Ha. Yeah.
Oh. Ah. Ha. Ah. Oh. Oh. Ah. Ha. Ah. Ha. Oh. Oh.